I had stepfather, I had a father, I had a grandfather, I had um, all kind of father, I believe, back in the day. Because you know your mother might be telling you a story, you know, and she might have a lot of fathers. So, hey, at least I honest. I don't know, but at least I honest.
Anyhow, we ain't shedding and throwing no shades on nobody today when it comes to that particular
We
topic.
celebrating marriage.
Fathers, yes.
Well, folks, we can get right into it. Yeah? We can get right into the fathers thing. We got the music in the back. We can get that. We can turn it up a little bit, and we can get right into this father. I want to start with what is a good father, and why. I'm gonna take you. You want to do this first? I'll do the lessons, and you do, or you do your part.
I'm
first.
just gonna chime in.
You can
It's
chime in.
Father's
You can
Day.
chime- You can let me.
and
You can let out my way.
I'm gonna let you have your way. It's your day today.
Real fathers take charge. Watch this.
So I only ask whatever questions. I will answer whatever questions you ask.
And sound back up. Yeah. So, like I say today. No, not the music. I really want to. Volume. I really want to.
You want to hear yourself?
Yeah, turn the volume up.
No, you have to turn the volume up here,
No,
my
you turn the volume up. You don't
The
turn
volume
back.
is
Turn the
up.
volume-
It's
turn-
up.
You turn the volume back up. Turn the volume back up. Yeah.
Tony a little confused today.
No, I ain't
Father's
confused.
Day.
I ain't confused.
You think he
I
had
ain't
a little
confused.
drink before he came here? Do you drink?
Listen, folks. This could be.
Are you drunk?
Listen, I'm not
Drunk with joy. It's Father's Day. I'm sure he's been showered with love from the sunrise this morning, and he's just rolling over in happiness. So joy juices have him thinking that there's a mic here somewhere other than what the computer comes fitted with.
Folks, let me say this to you. Now, you know why I say things to put Melanie in trouble. See, when I do those
Oh,
things.
that's what you just be doing.
Yeah. So when I tell her that just now, it was see, men are really not in charge. See, she tried to tell me. I tell him. I turn this out. I'm just see what she's saying. How she, so y'all can see what I'm talking about when I get there. Men believe that they supposed to be in charge, but you know they got these folks like Melanie them who don't care how they're strong. They'll say this is your day, but deep down, it's their day every day because they run the house, they don't let us run nothing. So we. So be grateful to have a day because I heard something coming here and it disturbed me a little bit. So
Yeah? But they say, remember, today is Father's Day because every other day is
it's Mother's Day. Yeah. See, let's go right back to that. We can start right there. There's a lesson to be learned. You see, that's a bad statement to make.
It's a bad statement.
Yeah. Because what you're trying to say, Father
That
only
the
got one day.
children only,
Yeah.
and everybody only focus on.
Crab
But
and
no,
rice.
that's a joke. I think it's
No, but some women see it
intended
for
to
that.
be humorous.
Some women see it for that. They really, really, really believe that.
Women who run the world, according to
Huh?
what's the lady name, who sang "Girls"?
You know who
Girls
run the world now? You know who run the world now?
Girls.
You know who run the world now? The children.
That's true.
The children
You
tell the
ain't
parent what to
lying.
do.
You
Okay.
ain't lying.
That's who run the world. I don't want to talk about real dad today. I want to talk about fathers. Because anybody can talk about real dad and real this and real that. I'm talking about.
So you're talking about real fathers,
I
because
talking
you know,
about real fathers.
I as I was thinking about this show today, I kind of categorize men, the male, into three categories. You
That's
have
what you get.
sperm donors, daddies, and fathers.
Well, sperm donors.
Yeah,
Dad.
men, they just laid the foundation and moved on.
And so what daddies do?
They the sperm. Daddies, I think, are those who show up on special occasion and bring the money, bring the the little gift, and get the children all riled up that that's my daddy. But fathers are those staples that are in the home, that are working shoulder to shoulder with the mother in raising their children.
Folks, I am sorry, I gotta apologize. No, can you? I gotta apologize for starting a little late. We supposed to start at 2 o'clock, we understand 2:30. But we had to get statistics and get this together. So I apologize. I will have some manners here. I want to apologize for that. Now, get your pen, because this is a Tony version of a good dad.
Okay.
There's a Tony version.
But tell me, how did I do as it relates to, does my definition or categorization kind of meet your approval?
Yeah. So what is a good dad? You said.
I say 3 categories of men.
Give me the last category.
You have
Sperm donors,
daddies, and fathers.
Yeah, give me the good father. Give me the father.
The fathers now are those that I said that are in the home, that are shoulder to shoulder with the mother, helping to raise their family. Right? So he is equivalent to what you consider to be the role of a man. He is the provider, he is the disciplinarian, he is the role model, he is the priest, right? So he take care of the financial, the spiritual, the emotional, and the social, in terms of making his children ready for the world in a social way that is acceptable.
Okay. You're making this exceptional. So you now want me to give you the Tony version.
Yeah, I'm ready
good
for
dad.
it. I'm sure
Folks,
the audience is.
Folks, I hold you out there so you could stop me at any time and tell me I'm going wrong and beat me up. Do what you got to do best. You know you always do it best. If you're all still around, because we started late. But I give you 10. I'll give you 5. How many do you want to give you? I give you.
You give me all you got, because after all, you're talking about yourself, aren't you?
So, a father gives his family recognition.
Gives his family recognition. Okay, and what does that mean?
Recognition that let them know they're beautiful,
Ah.
outstanding, and this is why I choose you. And you put that in their psyche that you are the one.
Yeah.
That
I like that. And can I add to that before
No,
you go to your
because
next point? No.
my next point, you like, don't jump. Go on.
No,
Go
it's
on.
actually, I call that, in addition to recognizing, but affirming. And that is so important, both for men, for young men and young women. Now, sometimes we are inclined to think that only girls need to hear that from their father, that you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're bright, you're smart, you're loved. But boys also need that from their father.
Well, that's why that men, especially men, that's why men usually always try to take the boys with them. Though the man, the man like the girls, but they take the boys because they want the boys take the lead from me.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah.
And that is key. In the Bahamas, I think we lacking a lot of that.
You all right?
Yeah, because that's where we
right.
get this, because we get a little crazy. But we want to keep it father central, so to keep the father's the problem. But I'm just saying how to make a good father.
Yeah, so basically, that was an addition that a father
right.
also affirms his children. He highlights their strengths, and he also teaches them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I tell you
Don't
good
preempt.
answer.
Yeah, I got.
So no, you can stop me, and then to be a good father, you gotta also know when your children or your wife are being distracted. Distracted from what's going on. Let me give you an example. Cellular phones.
Oh, okay.
TV, video games.
So that sounds like being a a guide and a disciplinarian too, to
Father,
teach them,
well,
appropriate
you have to-
behavior.
most times, fathers see the distraction.
Mhm.
Like the kids ignoring them and the kids locked in the room and he sees. But he has to know, he has to be the leader. He has to like
Mhm.
throw them, say, hold on, put that down, let's talk.
Yeah.
Or you don't play that game now,
Our time.
our time.
So make time for the family,
Mhm.
make time for the kids,
Mhm.
and
Go ahead,
what
bring it
I
up.
like about that particular point is it draws on a biblical principle that says there's a time for everything under the sun.
Everything.
And so there's a time for the computer, there's a time for your games, there's a time to study, there's a time, and nobody is better able to enforce that principle than a father. Moms have a tendency to be lenient and
Oh yeah, yeah. You all
know.
across the whole ship go wrong. You know how you all go, right? But then you're talking about you're all the best things since life for yeah, folks out there, I know. Folks, you can hit me up and stop me long ago, but we can just do it. That's what we can do. Just do it today. And so, and number 3 would portray a good father to help his family, entire family, children and mother, has to be, you must answer the children question. When the children ask a question, you must answer it. Too long, fathers like to duck and dodge them hard questions.
Mothers sometimes do the same.
Yeah, but we ain't
too.
talking to Mother's Day. Mothers do it
I
a lot.
know, but
Father does it.
I don't know. I think kids seldom go to fathers, especially fathers that, even though they don't say it, the children are very sensible and they sense it, that you don't have time for me,
Yeah.
right? Because I remember, or I observed, let me put it like that so that I will stay in an open playing field, but I observe fathers are the first one to say, stop making noise in my ears, go sit yourself down, come over here, sit there, be
Yeah.
quiet, shut up,
Control.
right. And kids learn that, but kids need to be able to express themselves. They need to know above all that they can actually go to their father for counsel, for instructions, for guidance in all areas of their life.
Yeah. And
So communication is key.
yeah, I have situation where kids always ask me questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I always ready to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got this from in my, what am I putting in my brain and doing this? I always wonder why they ask me so much question.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to know. They want to know
Mm-hmm.
what you're
Inquiry,
thinking.
they're-
Inquiry,
yeah, they
to
want
learn
to
what
know.
type of person
Mhm.
and how to communicate with you better.
Mhm.
And so that's one of the things. And then,
And when they have that relationship with you, they are able to do it with others.
Right.
And when they have their children, they learn because I want to say it, but basically, kids learn what they live.
learn where they live. And there's too much time you'll say to them, well, I ain't gonna talk to you. Yeah.
We cut them
go back.
short,
Say,
being
you
timid,
you
and
don't know
they
what
fair.
what do you say?
A fairful
Because they get their mind of
relationship.
their own. They're developing,
Mhm.
and the wife might have an issue with you, and she says, well, where you been?
Mhm.
Then you go, why you ask me, ice man? I don't ask you, I don't ask you. But they just want to know.
And kids are
Yeah,
looking. Kids
yeah.
are looking
They
on
want to
and
know
they hear.
that they have somebody they can ask a question.
Mhm.
Even if you don't have to answer them straight, you can answer them in a human way and let them know that, hold on, right at this moment, I'm still not feeling that.
Yeah,
But,
or I'm
but
busy.
come back
come
and answer
back.
those
Yes,
questions.
yeah.
And
So gentleness,
yeah.
in your response.
So fourthly,
Mm-hmm.
what makes a good man?
Mm-hmm. A good father.
Okay, you say father. Okay,
Good father. We talking about fathers
What
here,
makes a
not
good man,
men.
good father, whatever. All as far as I see it, all can come connected. But anyway, good father. We talking about father. What makes a good father is he teach the children.
Great
He
teacher.
teach them.
Mhm.
See, communicating with them is different, but teaching them,
Mm-hmm.
letting them know. Most men he like to teach their daughter and say, well, watch these men now, you know these men. And even sometimes men teach their daughter about how to embrace a man. They say, well, see, folks, I know, I can tell you, because my daughter, I used to tell her, now listen here, I don't want no man. How come my daughter? Let me tell you what I used to do, folks. I straight up, I can tell you. I used to tell them, make sure take this shoulder and put it between the chest, so you never have a complete.
Oh.
See, there's a technique to it. When he comes, you just put this shoulder.
So you
and let him hug you.
safeguard, protect yourself.
Let him hug you.
Yes.
Like this. So you will be sideways here.
He will be hugging the two. One shoulder will be against him, and so he'll be hugging just one shoulder rather than two.
Right. It's a technique. So you can teach. That's what I'm saying. You teach them. You teach the mother not to be calm down. Sometimes you're too harsh on the children. You know, take it easy. You teach.
Wow.
It's a process going on.
Now you are a gentle father, because usually it's the mother that have to tell the father.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Don't be so hard on him, especially on the boys.
But you know me good. My mouth big. I say what I mean, but my mouth little big. But I got a gentle side to me, you know.
Okay.
I may be black and ugly, but I got a gentle side.
That's great.
You better keep it that way.
But the fact that you actually enjoy talking to children,
oh yes,
that says a great deal, because children will move to the person that is kind and gentle to them, you know. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. And fifth on this list, on Tony's list of how to be a good father, it's okay for a father to be silly. It's okay for me to chat around with my children and joke. See, when I do this, I know how far to go about it. So I get to crack jokes and mess with them. I do it all the time. That's what I do. I mess with my granddaughter. I mess with my grandson. I say my grandson, I say, boy, listen, I come in to beat you, you know. I come in to beat you. And he go, Papa, I've been waiting on you, you never show up. And then I laugh because I ain't show up. I famous not showing up, folks. so
okay, yeah, I think yes. So play
Goofy,
is
Woody.
essential. What's that?
Woody, yeah, Goofy and Woody and
okay.
all I'm saying is it's good to be that. And so
and Woody too, eh?
It's weird, boy. Some things are just weird, and I just, and it's okay if you have a boy or a girl in a field or in a program or something. It's okay to be a part, be a coach.
Okay.
You can coach them. If your son play on the team, instead of sit on the sideline, get involved. Learn how to coach them. So when you come home, you can coach them. You can coach them, and once the father figures around and other parents see that you coaching and you helping get involved, they can start getting involved. So you are teaching also the fathers how to get involved with the children by coaching them.
That is an admirable trait, and I think it cements the family together so nicely.
Opportunity for connection.
Yes.
Connect.
Yes. It cements
and
it brings admiration to the man, And unfortunately, sometimes it brings admiration that could make the wife feel threatened. But a woman likes to see a man who is there for his children and who is interested in the holistic development of their children, their education, their spiritual life, their social life, and even teaching their boys what type of women to date and all.
That's very good. And one or two more. And it's okay for you to take your kids around your friends. For man, it's okay. See, it's okay for kids to know what I do, how I do it, how I conduct myself. When I be out there with my friends, I have quality friends. You need quality friends instead of having a bunch of kids or guys that come in and smoke dope and this, that. and you show them the type of life you live, so they could see the life you live. And so once they could see the life you live, they will say, "Oh, you know what? I want to be just like my dad."
Yeah, yeah.
So I can start communicating and
Yeah.
start like my dad.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Take them with you to work as well, because and other community-oriented activities that you might be engaged in. Because I think for me, the most impressive thing was when in my work environment, I would hear young women, even though it might have been political circles, but you have a lot of leaders today that are men and women whose parents, fathers in particular, actually took them into those environments and showing them, not purposefully, but just by demonstrating their civic involvement. So the children follow suit. They become a part of the youth arm of whatever political party the parents are engaged in. If the father is actively involved in the church, you find that the children become involved in the church. Oftentimes, the mother doesn't have a strong influence in leadership and civic involvement as a father does. And that is a plus for good fathers.
Yeah, and it's time that we, especially in the Bahamas, it's time the father step up to the plate.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we are losing the grasp, we're losing the hold on parenting, especially in the father's area. Not when the woman. We ain't talking about
In the
woman
father's
today.
arena.
In the father's arena, I think we are totally. Let me see. I think we're gonna lose touch, especially with our young boys.
But you see it more commonly in boys. See, there are times when a father might not be present in the home. And again, as I was thinking about this program, I thought about the days when my father was young. Now, he was too young to get enlisted into the project, but his cousins, his older brothers, they all went, right? And when they came back, the family was still intact.
Yeah.
So why did the family remain intact when the father was away? So, fathers not being in the home is not new to us here in the Bahamas.
Not new.
But that was because we had a different societal structure.
Yeah.
Back in
The
the
community.
day, yes,
Village.
the uncle,
Yeah.
the cousin,
Grandmother.
everybody helped to
Boy, go home.
raise those
Boy, leave them
children,
people do
and
that.
you, out of character, they were even allowed to
Folks.
whip you. And when they told your parents,
Folks is hot. I know that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
go on, Melly.
the parents, so the father now had a support network of brothers and cousins who literally looked out for his children, right? And he did likewise. So we had that close connectedness of fathers and brotherhood. The brotherhood was important and it was visible. Today we have the brotherhood, but it's not in a positive light. And we need to revisit the old way of doing things, where fathers were looked up to, right?
But that's the problem in the Bahamas, especially. Around the world, fathers are not looked up to. And to piggyback on what you're saying about how this is, I have two more. But one of them just piggyback into this. So my eight, I think it's number 8, is that fathers has to show love to his mother and his family, to his wife, so it passed down to kids. It is now time that fathers grab their sons and hug them up.
Talking about that.
Yeah. Why is it you be seeing the word, because a father hug a son, he's sissy. Oh yeah, he goes to hug me up.
But
Go ahead.
listen,
Go ahead.
I thought of that too. I had this friend. He was not Bahamian. He was African, and he had 2 sons. And I was so amazed, but at the same time, I was impressed out of my boots to see this gentleman literally kiss his sons in public. Literally kiss his sons, and his sons didn't push him off because they were accustomed to it from childhood, seeing as they grew right into teen years. He was still kissing his sons.
Right today, I had to my son. Right today, he called me and told me, wish me happy Father's Day. And every time I talk to him, I said, "Oh boy, I love you, you know." So they play, they ain't hear you. Like they try like play. So I say, hey, you hear me? I love you. Then I say, love you to Daddy. But you see, you gotta
tell them.
Yeah, you gotta
tell them.
make sure. And now I'm going off. I soon finish my last, so then I can go off. But it's that we must love and we must show that affectionate. Fathers don't believe in showing. See, let me tell you, if me and you married, and I be affectionate to you,
yes,
it can catch.
Display it openly.
Right,
display
in the
your
house
affection,
and it will catch on to the children, and the children become affectionate. In the
it's interesting,
and beat me up.
That explains why everybody is sneaking around, because they don't see it openly displayed.
Exactly. That's why everybody got hide.
Mommy and daddy, you're husband and wife, and you have to secretly express your.
Yep. You can't be in the bed hugging up your husband when you come in.
Your children can't come in and meet you embracing each other.
Why you disturb my good hug if the children come in the room? This my woman. This mine. God has blessed me with this. This mine.
Modeling appropriate behavior, including affection.
And I believe this we be missing. And this also has something to do with crime. Because I think now, if we started to show our softer side,
and everybody won't think they need to be a thug.
Right. And even the music we play,
don't talk about
it's all more aggressive. And if you listen to the words that the kids love now and they can remember is those words that is so, I do this and take them from here and lay them out and bind short and this. All kind of things is going on in these music. But let me get to my last. We can discuss the whole thing.
Parents are still squirming.
Yeah. And what? And there's two more. 9 is that some parents don't know the difference between father and child. You should know what you should tolerate from that child. How far the nonsense you allow him to. You gotta continue letting him know that you're the parent. Because now today, everybody wants to be the daddy. The daddy want to be the son who's the son. He won't be dressed like him. He won't be player. He won't have sweetheart and woman like him. So you gotta cut the crap, and you have to be the father to let him know.
Take the lead.
We can have fun, but I am the father. The respect and the level of respect will always remain.
Yep.
And when I was writing this, I'm coming to my end, and then me and Melanie could go for it. And I'm coming in, when I was writing this, one that I put at the end that I must say, what to me makes a good father, and this day and time, this is not happening. I want you to listen to this good man. Melanie, I know you like this one. Teach the children the value of hard work. See, too much children believe that they don't need to work hard. They got this now, I need to work smart. Or I need to do this all. That's you doing it. But you have to work. Hard work pays off. Stop letting the children think they're entitled. These children ain't entitled to nothing. These children believe in entitled because you got a business. They've been entitled to the business pass over to them. They ain't entitled to nothing. You get your. Nobody gave me nothing. And I'm going to teach my sons. Nobody give me nothing. I work hard for what I got. Melanie,
but you had a model. You had a model.
That's the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to give you. I'm be the model. That's why I can teach you how to work hard. I can be the model. There ain't gonna be. You ain't got to worry about that. I can teach you a belief that if you work hard, you can accomplish the word. I can teach you. I can show you. I can work you. I can work you diligently.
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 Yes.
I'm gonna work you in the way that a child should be, because I'm gonna start you from young to know that if you work a certain way, when you get older, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Your body then formatted, you don't understand. Then you work smart, because it's then easy. And then, last but least, because you got to do this in the Bahamas, this is something you have to put in everything. You got to teach the children, or the wife, or the family. Family means sometimes let me tell you why I say family. Sometimes the grandmother lives in the house too.
Yeah.
So that's a part of the family.
Okay.
Okay. And sometimes the stepson, and the offspring, and sometimes the stepdaughter, and sometimes the cousin aunties live in the house. So I say family. A good dad, a good father, teach the family. Now, lastly, God's principle.
Ah.
Because if you don't, see, you got to have a foundation
Yes.
to build on. And I'm not crazy with the God's principle, like some folks might be. All I want, only one thing I requires for me, and I believe a father, a good dad should require. That's all he should require. That you know there's a God, and you love the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't too care about going to church and all that. Once you know there's a God, and you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, I okay.
So what about the principles?
The principles, see, every man has his own destiny.
Yeah, but the principles serve as a guide.
The principles say that once you know there's a God above, and once you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, that is the principle that your life based on. 99% of the time, once you know there is a God and you believe in the God Jesus Christ, not foolishness, I say God Jesus Christ. You know what I say? The Lord God Jesus Christ, and He reigns in your life. 99% of the time, you ain't go straight. You ain't go straight. Because once you know there's a God, the designing of the Lord will make you study more. You want to know more. And once you know there's God and you believe in Him, you will start living the values and principles.
I have a question
I have all your questions.
on that point.
I have all your questions.
What then is the father's role in guiding his children, family, to the knowledge of God? What is the father's role in that regard?
As a child, I'm going to grow you up in the principles and walk you. For example, let me break it down in layman's time. All of my children went to church with me every Sunday.
Okay.
All of my children know that I love the Lord Jesus Christ and He's the center of my life. They know that. So they grew up when they're going to church, and they grew up in that God, because my son will tell you, if you ever listen to something my son posts, my younger son, everything he posts, if you listen, he always uses the word at the end. I thank God. Check your post. I always quote something from God. Christoph, he always do that.
Okay.
And it's still in him.
So the foundation is
Yeah.
what I was getting to.
Yeah, the
the
foundation.
principle. So you take your kids to church,
Yeah.
but they also see the character exemplified,
In
the
me.
word becoming flesh in you, in terms of you really and truly applying the word to your daily life, to your interaction with them. Okay? Kids need to not only see, they need to hear, and they need to feel. Oftentimes, and even men that are pastors, they preach, they teach, but they don't live according to what they preach and teach. Kids need to see that consistency in your words and your action. Otherwise, you will find that they will turn their back on every word that you utter out of your mouth.
Well, some kids turn their back, but as a good father,
Now, if you truly are an example of what you speak, if your life is a testimony of the words that come out of your mouth, remember now, kids pay attention more as adults because we grow up into being the same persons that we were. We pay attention more to what we see than what we hear.
But I would say I was a principled person.
Mm-hmm.
But
But I am.
Okay, I am a principal still is, but my years coming into me being adult,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't never perfect. I used to do food.
None of us are
Right.
perfect.
None of us is say perfect. But so I did food. But trust me, I always thought about my kids. So everything I did, I did it away from my children, underground,
Anything that you did not want them
to
doing.
see. And I'll give you something my mother, and I always tell this story. My mother, we had a Vauxhall. You know what a Vauxhall is?
A car?
Yeah, Vauxhall used to be we had a black Vauxhall, and we used to go to Montague. And one time one time we went to Montague, and this girl and this guy was on the coconut tree kissing up one another. So I say, Mommy, when we pull up, I say, Mommy, you see them two people kissing one another? My mother said, hold on, take your shoes off. So I say, no, Mommy, you see them two people kissing me. She said, hold on. She said, you ain't see nobody. So I wondered, I got big eyes seeing this person, my mother tell me, but she didn't see nobody. So I talk back to my mother again. I say, Mommy, you ain't see them two people, you looking the wrong way. You was in the So she say, where? Guess what happened? My mother was always protecting her children. That was her way. Because she didn't want me to see all that was going on in the coconut tree. She was protecting me from that. That's what I'm talking about, how I protect my children. I always protect my children. Even I was doing food, I wanted to protect my children. But that's all I know because I was young. I learned that from my mother, right? Even in video games, I would go buy my son a video game, especially Carl when he was younger, and I would buy him a video game, and I would buy him basketball game or something, or Michael Jackson or something where. But when he asked me for them games where they fighting and shooting, I was to tell him when I go to bed, I can't find it. I say I look all over the place.
And you couldn't find it.
It ain't that I was lying,
You were lying.
but
you
I was
just didn't look for it.
I had it in my,
You couldn't find it because you didn't look.
I had it in my hand a couple of times, and I said, "No, I ain't doing this."
Because your conviction was it was not in the best interest of your
Right,
child.
because this is what my mother taught me.
Mm-hmm.
See, I learned. So I just telling you from how she brought me up. It's still in me. That's what I'm saying about the fathers. Fathers, my mother was father and father, daddy, and everything. So my mother has brought me up, and so I'm saying a good father will protect his children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He could see it coming.
Yeah.
He's smart.
But can I
Go ahead, do you do?
use that very example that you gave of your mom telling you didn't see anything, and say for parents of today, because all parents did that exact same thing, and that is why we are not able to express ourselves. We need to use those moments as teaching moments to say
It's
to
hard.
your children, it is a beautiful thing when a man and a woman express their love to each other. But there is a time and a place for everything. Now you tell them it's okay for them to briefly express, but you don't prolong and allow yourself to become a public spectacle in a way that people will look at you and judge you and so forth. So you use those moments to have your children understand it is a good thing, it is a natural thing. Because otherwise, how many children in our era and the era before and the era after that end up pregnant and don't even know how they ended up pregnant because no one ever took the time to explain it to them. And you know, people would say, oh, but they have family life in the school today. Yeah, they do. But do they really, really go into detail and discuss these things? It's the place of the parents to do that.
Yeah. But we see, but most men don't want to go down these roads.
But they need to,
'cause
especially
but
with
we
their
talking
sons.
about good men. Now,
Especially with their sons.
now I finished the good men situation, so we could talk openly now. I didn't tell you what I think is a good man and how is a good man. Now we can talk about fathers. We could talk about Now we can talk about fathers.
Well, I am gonna say from your list that you presented, I felt a warm sensation of gratitude towards my father, because my father is one of the men in the Bahamas that have children with at least 6 women.
Say that again.
My father is one of the men in this country that have children with at least 6 women.
But that's majority of men.
Okay. But despite that, you know that balance that I heard, you didn't call it balance, but that's what I saw coming through. A balanced life of teaching children how to be responsible, to play their role in family and in society, but also have a life that is loving, playful, and caring. My daddy would beat us till we feel like we're gonna die.
What you mean beat?
Whip us.
Okay, you mean
for
punishment? Yeah.
Well, punishment and beating is 2 different things.
Yeah,
you could punish in so many different ways.
You mean beat you? Okay, beat you.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
thank God
as
for that,
punishment,
Thank God
then,
for that, Breeze. Oh,
as punishment for our wrongdoings or reportedly wrongdoing, we would get a whipping. Or if he see us doing something, take for instance, my dad used to keep a lovely garden. The grapefruits used to be so beautiful, the guavas. I grew up in an environment where my dad was a really good example. You didn't see him with all the other women because he had a home.
Yeah, he hired him.
And if he had children, you know, my dad used to bring his children home. He brought every one of his children. So we all know each other, right? But he used to be a horse owner when Hobby Horse Racetrack. And my brother, who's a year older than me, I used to feel so sympathetic for that boy because he was only about 4 feet tall, but he had to walk the horses, he had to water the horses, he had chicken. We all were involved with feeding the chicken and picking the chicken when it's time. So that's what you're talking about, being industrious, being united, learning how to be actively involved in family life. That was my father. Now, he always taught his sons. Every one of my brothers know a bit of auto mechanic because he was also in the trucking business, right? And every one of them, if a truck break down or a car break down, they can stop and provide assistance for somebody along the road. He was one of those do-it-yourself guys. So he was into everything, right? And you try to figure out, so where he had time to have all these women? But he did.
Oh, you gotta have time. Listen.
He had time for his pleasure. But
you only need 5 minutes.
The interesting thing for me was he played with us. He played with us. We would go on Sunday ride looking for cocoa plum. when it was time for him to dig rocks to sell to people, you know, the
Yeah.
finishing rocks,
Yeah.
we were there in the bushes. When it's time to cut grass, we were there in the grass, cutting the grass for the animals. And he still lives that very same life today. He's 84 and he is still on the go, still moving. And every woman that comes into his life, he take the children along and the children learn. I see this little boy that he is currently raising, and I admire because boys just need a man in their life. And I watched that little boy from being very fragile to being more confident. And that is what we really need to see men doing. Get involved. Help in the development of the children who are in your life, in your neighborhood, in your church. Men make a big difference. Men run the world, because women can only do so much. We can only do so much.
Yeah, and if you see a good man
Hmm.
run his house, run his home, and develop his home. See, I don't want a woman tell me about the man in charge. The Bible tells me the man in charge
Yeah,
of the
he's
house,
the
him,
priest,
her,
he's the
everybody.
priest, he's the
So,
priest.
oh, no,
All the blessings and all
no
come
man in
through the
charge of
man.
me. No man in charge of me.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a man coming home telling you what to do. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking
I
about a
mean,
man.
but we are Bible-based
Yes.
believers.
Yeah.
So how could we stray from that? Because
woman,
look at the
I even ain't
accounts.
dealing
Look
with
at the
women.
accounts.
See-
Look at the biblical accounts.
Yeah, but
Men were always not the church, not the pastor,
Yeah.
the father, the home head was always the man. Even if he had many
Yeah.
children, many wives, because a lot of them had multiple wives, but their children were united. Says, "Happy Father's Day, Daddy. Love you."
Love
And
you too,
that's
Anthony.
Anthony's.
Love you, baby. Just as I'm done with my show, I'll be there. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that if some of the women today would just let the fathers lead, they let the fathers lead. I wish, like I have my daughters, I wish they would just listen some. When they get married, and just let the husband lead. I understand you ain't gonna let no fool lead you down the road. Nobody.
A fool can't lead nobody other
Right.
than to
So
destruction.
you gotta decide that if you marry a fool, then that's a different story. But men,
But that don't take away the
Fathers-
fool's right, you know, because
No.
the man is the designated
Yeah,
head.
but if
So
he-
if you want somebody who have sense, don't marry a fool, because the fool's supposed to lead,
But
even
if you
though
can
he's a
leave him-
fool.
but if you leave him down the road, then if you can lead, that a fool leads you down the road, you're in trouble. And I always tell my daughters, that take it easy. Sometimes, like my daughter, especially this one, sometimes she little rough.
Yeah.
And I,
Women know what they want,
Yeah,
and if
but-
you're all slow to move, they can
But
they can
sometimes
give you a
she
little
gotta
push.
sometimes she take a little break, and simmer down.
Take a break.
Yeah, take a break, because
Let the man lead.
Yeah, sometimes let the
give
man-
him a couple minutes to
yeah,
catch yourself.
yeah,
in.
he may make one mistake.
And but with no disrespect to you,
Mhm.
right? You know you're a little slow, right?
We might be a little slow to act, but
And plenty slow sometimes.
no, but we get it together. If you have a sensible thing to
Only
get on the feet,
sometimes the only time y'all move is from the pressure that comes from us.
I don't know.
In the absence of pressure, some of y'all will just sit right there and reminisce about the last time.
Listen to me. Once you have a husband who moving with you,
Mm-hmm.
you have the greatest thing.
That's true. It's the greatest
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah,
It's,
you
it's
can't be
I
wrong.
would call that the pearl of great price,
Yeah.
because it's so rare in the Bahamas and around the world to
You think
find
so?
a man who works with his wife.
You think so?
Yeah, I have actually witnessed a few,
What?
very few. They're so few and far between that they actually hold on to the gold medal for years uncontested.
But Folks, we talking about fathers.
Fathers, yeah.
We're talking about good fathers. We're talking about bad fathers. We're talking about fathers. We're talking about any kind of father.
And fathers make good husbands.
And
Good fathers make good husbands.
and a lot of now see we can talk anything now. See, a lot of fathers get licked with a stick.
That's true.
And
That's
it ain't
true.
fair. It ain't fair. Fathers, some of these fathers go through great lengths.
Boy.
Some can't see their children. Some of these fathers go through hell and back, be fighting in the court just to get their rights.
And so, just like you said, in terms of a woman choosing a good man, that's why men must be careful who they lay with and father children
Why the
with.
man gotta be careful with that?
Because you looking at the outer appearance of this woman, but she could be little,
Little
in the head.
You
Yeah.
mean could be or
Can-
a lot
I
of
said
y'all
she
loopy.
could be.
A lot of y'all will be.
Well, a lot of people are loopy.
A lot of women are loopy.
Men and women. Men and women. You have a lot of but guess what? That loopiness come from where? The modeling.
Yeah.
The modeling that they see. So if the fathers are present or there are other male images that serve as fathers. So just like how there are women who have never given birth but they have mothered children, there are men who have never really had sown a seed that produced and bear their name, but they are in the community, they are helping others raise their children. They are being great uncles, cousins, godfathers.
Yeah. But folks, talking about fathers today, Tony and Mel was supposed to be under the tree.
We are under the tree. We're under the coconut tree.
We're under the coconut tree. Our special edition, Lightfoot Key, the beautifulest place in the world. You don't believe it. I will give you a moment,
The
the
most-
last moment to look. I'll look around, show you a little bit of scenery here so you can take a look. But, Melanie, now we can talk anything you want to talk about.
Well, our time is just about gone, you know.
Yeah, I know, that's why.
We're not gonna.
And we want to be grateful we get this opportunity to be under the tree on the move in this beautiful Lightfoot Key. I mean,
Yeah, Father's
folks,
Day treat for
Father's
Tony.
Day's treat for me in Lightfoot Key. I'm telling you, this is special. You know, and I know they're cooking up something inside for me. I know in a minute I'll have my Father's Day treat in the inside. And I want nothing frozen. And then I catch it.
All
this,
fresh,
the
eh?
sea in the back here. The boat over there. They better catch it. And yeah, I want it. Jumping out the pot. Melanie, you sure you ain't got no shout out to
No,
Father's
I
Day
have.
to your
I
father?
have.
Happy
My
Father's
dad.
Day.
Well, I used him as my model.
Mhm.
I, as a child growing up, well, I had two fathers, you know.
I had two too.
My father's father was really my first father because at a young age my parents separated and me and my three siblings were raised by my father's parents, and so my grandfather is still my eternal mentor. He is the one person on whom my everything is built. He was my rock. He was the love. Every time I talk about him is as if he's still physically present, right? And then my dad, because he was young and he had he moved on and had that Rolling Stone effect. That's how come he have so many kids, right? But he was a good father. He, like everyone else, had their faults. And as we grow up, we look back and we say, oh, Daddy, you didn't do this, or Daddy, you did that. But he was a tyrant. You couldn't tell him, you couldn't question him when he was in control. He was a man of authority.
Folks,
And you know what? He softened up, because I have a sister that he fathered at the age of 63. Yes, I have a sister that's 20-something. And when I look at the things that she got away with compared to what we couldn't get away with, I was like, boy, you see how these people go? Right? But time brings changes.
I bring changes.
Yeah, but he was a loving father, and all of his daughters love him to death. All of his sons could take him and smack him up every now and again, but they have learned great lessons from him.
Good lesson.
A lot of them, the only lesson they were followers to have plenty women like him, but and plenty children,
But you don't know plenty woman.
but he was a good role model. The one thing I must say, Tony, though, before we end this show, men must show their children how to build a future and provide for future generations. That's key.
The Bible tell you.
That's key.
Pass down.
Yeah. Because right now, you know what the current thing is: name brand this, name brand that, trip every day,
Shoot up.
the house furnish out with all these things, and you renting from somebody. Teach your children how to be property owners and business owners.
Well, you know that's a show coming up. Economics.
That's the
Teach that.
role of the
We
father.
got to take on economics and let
Yes,
them know what's going on.
yes.
But folks, I got some shout out to give before Melanie close. I have these men in my life who has made it. I have awesome respect for. One of them everybody around the world want to live here. And so what I'm saying to you, for men and men that have done well and teach their children and groom their children to become strong, vibrant fathers in this nation. Good fathers. I salute them today. All of them. My pastor, Pastor Butler. People say my father. Why I didn't use the word my father? I didn't talk about everybody, but I didn't talk about my father. My father might have wasn't there for me, but he was there for me financially. He was there for me leadership. He might be being on a project, being this, but he was there. And so to this day, I salute my father. But I don't like to talk about my father. I salute him for bringing me out to be this handsome, respectable young man. To be here today on the show to share with you. Melanie, I'm going to show you where I'm at so you can see a little beauty. I'm going to choose going to give you a little bit of beauty. Melanie, you want to make sure?
No, I just want to encourage mothers or wives to be supportive of the fathers of your children. Have them involved. Sometimes you have to give little suggestions on things that they can do with the children. You know, most men did not have a role model, but you know what you desire for your children, and so therefore, do not rob them. Help the men to be good fathers to your children. And men, be a good example, especially for your sons, so that they can in turn become good fathers, good community leaders, and the best that they can be for themselves. Thank you so much for joining us again this week, and may God bless you until we meet again next week.
Next week, right here, same time, same place. Melanie and Tony, right here, under the tree. We will meet again under the tree. Beautifulest place in the world, folks. And I will take you on a little journey here. I won't take you in the sun so you can see what it's like in the Bahamas. Just follow me and I will just take you. I want to sit out here and enjoy the day. This is lovely. Okay, folks, on the way out, that's George Beach. If you can see out there, that's George Beach. You know George Beach, where they're having the party and the party play and the boats out in the water. That's my favorite spot on the dock. My rocking chair. And that's Life at Key. That's a jacuzzi. I'll get them in there another day. Any folks, have a great day and enjoy. I'll take you back to Melanie so she can have a last say to you. She can bid you bye-bye. Melanie will wish you goodbye. We live and laugh with you. Thanks to the people who made it possible for us to have under the tree, under them. And we're gonna move under the tree, different spots. So we can get the whole focus on the tree. Well, you go out now and treat your father the best.
Yes, and
Dinner.
Tony will go and continue his Father's Day with his family.
I go and have
So
Anthony's.
thank
and
you so
everyone
much for
enjoy it.
joining us. Those of you that are there, Sophie, Sharon, Sonia,
All of them.
Jan, Princess. My mind went on Princess today. I haven't
Princess.
heard from Princess out of Freeport in a while.
She there.
But we just want you to know that we appreciate your regular show watching us. We love you very much. We appreciate you. And we look forward to you joining us again next week at our regular time, 3 p.m.
Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Keep your distance. Because we're going to do something next week. Good for you. You know now we on the move, so we're just getting up and running. Once we start, we can't stop. Man, they got us. Wash your hands. Make sure to wash your hands.
Take
So
care,
long.
everybody.
Next week. Bye-bye.